We are live today. This morning, I got to go early due to the fact that I got a lot of work to do. I'm in the middle of restoring a 1975 Chevy truck. So what we're going to do is finish that hopefully by Friday as far as paint goes. I'm in the process of actually getting everything ready to paint. Let's walk out to the shop. We're going to check some stuff out. I've been working on the Nova, the 62 Nova, putting it together. I've been starting to work very early in the mornings and working late at nights. And that's one thing that sucks, okay? I'm going to let you know that now. Let's go ahead and head out to the shop. We're going to look around. I'm going to show you what's going on. We got Steven Zielinski. Thank you very much. JC Garcia, Charles Chastian, and Ed McCain watching. So let's go outside and we're going to look at what my friend Pete's been doing, working my ass off. I'll be honest with you, people. I think the big struggles finally hit my friend Pete. When I say that, I'm talking about the economy. I'm talking about the high rise in gas prices and food prices and cost of living and everything else that goes along with trying to survive to stay alive. This summer, I have done 2 activities besides leaving my shop. I've been a prisoner to my shop. I've been working every single day. And we're talking 7 days a week, not just 5 or 6. I think we took our little motorcycles out one time this year, and we've taken our Razor out twice. I actually have my Razor up for sale. My 2020 Polaris Razor, I have over $37,000 invested, and that includes purchasing it. And I'm trying to sell it for 20 grand to pay it off and possibly get some money to put in the bank. It's got 1,400 miles on it, barely used, driven on dirt roads. Many will not drive on extreme 4x4 trails. So when we do take it out, we go on back roads and 4x4 roads. We don't take it on rock crawling and stuff like that. But I've been trying to sell that, and I'm possibly going to have my Baja up for sale. We found out that, and I already knew this, the engine leaks oil profusely. I've replaced the rear main seal on it twice. It's from the number 3 cylinder, which is causing back pressure, and it won't let the engine breathe. And oil is leaking out of the piston cylinder. It looks like a choo-choo train going down the road. Smoke comes out of the breather like I'm cooking barbecue ribs out of the breather, and it leaks oil out of the rear main oil seal. So that's going to need rebuilt. The transmission, 4th gear, is not geared for anything at all. When you put it in 4th gear and you're driving it, it pretty much bogs down and dies. You lose power because the gear ratio for what this machine is not a 4th gear machine. It's pretty much good for 3 gears, and once you get up to a certain speed. Now, if you're out on the desert and you're driving this thing and you're going 35, 40 miles an hour, I mean, you're really kicking ass, you know what I'm saying? But when you're driving it on the street and the speed limit's 60 miles and you shift it into 4th gear from 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour into 4th gear, and it starts going back down to 45, 47, 42 miles, 38. You see what I'm saying? So the transmission needs rebuilt. I called the transmission shop in California that is a reliable transmission shop. Living out here in this town, there's nobody in the surrounding states area that can do this. that can rebuild the transmission. So sending it to California would be on my dime. I'd have to ship it UPS. I'd have to, figure out how to box it up or crate it up, and then shipping back. So that would be, $200 probably each way. That's $400. And then to rebuild the transmission is going to be another $1,500 to $1,700. Now, this is just to make it where it's actually authentically 100% street legal, and that's only using the tires that are on it. Because when you change the diameter, size, shape of the tires, well then, now you're doing something totally different, and you can't drive it. Now the transmission isn't synced in with what you actually have on there. So I believe I have 34s on the back. 34s on the back. And then, of course, I got the desert tires on the front. And so if I wanted to go down to 32s or possibly 30 inches, well, then the transmission will wrap out too high probably. The RPMs will be way too high. And so it's kind of a cluster fuck situation either way you look at it on this thing. What I had in mind to do with the vehicle is totally different than what the thing is actually built for. I will say one thing about the ex-owner that I got it from. That was the only thing that he actually told me the truth about. And that's another thing that really screws you around when you are purchasing something, whether it's a car or a house or possibly anything that's privately owned. You can't trust that you're getting what they're saying. It's very hard to trust a human being when they are selling something in today's society, age, and form, because most people will lie and cheat because they want to get as much money as they can, and they will tell you anything and everything that you want to hear to buy it. For example, do you know anybody in the world that wants to restore a 1948 Plymouth or let's just say a 1956 Dodge DeSoto? Do you know anybody in the world that wants to do that today? Take the DeSoto, the 58 DeSoto, 56 DeSoto, or let's even go worse than that. Let's go 52. A 1952 DeSoto, 4-door. With a 6-cylinder in it. Do you know anybody in the world that wants to build one of those? Well, get on Craigslist, start searching for old cars, put in there old car projects, and see how much these lame-brained, dumb idiots that are selling these old, rotted out, rusted out, classic cars that would cost you $1 million to restore, see how much they're selling them for. And then call them on the phone and talk to them and let them tell you why they're selling it for that much. An old junkyard car is worth scrap iron price. I don't care what anybody says. If you found an old 52 DeSoto that was rotted and rusted, because that's what it's going to be. It's not going to be flawless mint condition. The floors are going to be rusted. The trunk will be rotted. Rats have probably lived in it. There's rat shit everywhere and rat piss. The engine's locked up, if it has an engine at all. And they want $3 or $4 or $5 or $6 or $8,000 for this thing. I always talk about how the internet has ruined the world. Well, that's one thing that the internet has ruined. Is the sale of personal products, personal goods. People have gone to the extremes of selling stuff and ripping people off. The world is a ripoff. All right, everybody's out for theirself, and nobody gives a shit about anybody. It's a joke. Okay. I'm sorry to say that, but, you try to survive, you try to live, but instead of being a brother or a sister to one another like we should be. That's what the world was created on, is the concept that we're brothers and sisters. Everybody wants to be used car salesman. They want to be Mr. Banker. They want to be that guy that is so greedy and filthy, stingy that you're not getting anything of mine. I don't care if you're starving to death. I'm never going to restore that car. I'm not ever going to restore it, but you know what? I want this much money for it. I'm never going to do nothing with that. That was my grandfather's car. He bought it brand new. Well, if it's such a family relic and you love it so much, why are you selling it? When you go up to these people, I get a lot of calls because, I do all my videos are on old classic cars, stuff like that. I get a lot of calls from people that want to sell their cars. They want to sell their cars, and they don't know where to sell it or whatever. Here's a good example. I had a lady call from Albuquerque, New Mexico. She called me from Albuquerque, and she says, "Hi, I've been watching your videos, and I saw some of the videos you made on used cars and blah, blah, blah. And my dad passed away, and I have 4 Etzels for sale. And they're up on top of this mountain. They're very hard to get to because he lived in a cabin, and you got to go up this dirt road to get to it. And you got to have a 4-wheel drive, and I don't know how to bring them down, and ran. And I said, well, how much do you want for them? She said, well, that's the problem. I just really don't know. I said, all right, well, send me some pictures of them, and I'll kind of help you out. I wasn't really interested in buying them at that time. So she sends me pictures of them, and only one of the cars was complete. But it had 4 flats. It was sinking into the ground. The rocker panels were basically in the dirt. But it was a 100% complete car. It had the front grille on it. It had the headlight rings. It had all this, the side grills, the marker lights. It had the tail lights. It had all the interior. Of course, I'm sure rats were living in it, and, varmints, and full of spiders, and rotted, the floor was probably rotted from sitting on the ground. And then the other 3 were parts cars. One of them didn't have a front clip on it. The other one, had broken glass. All the glass was broken out. And so they were basically junkyard scrap iron cars. I told her, I said, well, those cars are probably worth about $200 each if you can get it. And that's only if you can get somebody to go up the mountain with a 4-wheel drive and a trailer and do that 4 times. And then I figured, well, she was acting like I need to get them off the property. I need to sell them, blah, 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 and all this other shit. So I said, well, I might be interested in buying them. I'll tell you what, I'll give you $800 for all 4 of them. She got pissed off at me, basically told me I'm a cheapskate, that I am a scam artist, and was going on and on and on, and that she is going to advertise them and sell them. Those cars are worth at least $10,000. Okay, then go get your $10,000. I'm sorry. Oh, she also mentioned that her dad bought those cars brand new, and that she's got titles on every one of them. I don't give a shit what you have on them. They are junk. They're scrap iron. Let's go out in the shop real quick before we really get into the conversation. And we're going to look around and see what my friend Pete's been doing for the last week and a half. And then I'm also going to explain to you about prices on stuff. So here's the truck bed that we painted. Beautiful paint job that it is. I got the cab in the paint booth. I'm going to color sand and buff that today, and then hopefully we can go ahead and put the bed back on the truck. It's a beautiful truck bed. It's black inside. You can see that rhino liner. Beautiful. Okay, so there we go with that. And then I've been working on this very heavily to put this back together. This is our 62 Nova. And putting a car back together takes 3 to 4 times longer than dismantling the car. I'm going to tell you that right now. Now, I don't know how all you other small businesses charge to R&I vehicles and R&R, okay? For everybody that doesn't know, that is remove and install and remove and replace. So when you remove something and then you have to put it back in, that would be R&I. And then when you buy in brand new parts, that's R&R. So I don't know how other shops do it, but I charge by the hour. I charge by the hour. It's a very meticulous job. You can see the mess we got over here. Here's the bag and tag situation. Every meticulous piece has been bagged. We got right front door, left front door. We got one bag here. It says rear view mirror. That's the gaskets that go to that particular mirror. We got turn signals. So dismantling a car is very meticulous because you have to bag and tag it properly to put it back together. Now, we took this car to the extreme. We did a lot more work to it than we were supposed to. We weren't supposed to dismantle every body part on it, which that's what I did. It was only supposed to be a paint job, basically a freshen up paint job. We weren't supposed to remove glass. And then we decided, well, we need to really remove the glass to paint the car right. All the chrome trim, everything on the car was, I mean, it was gutted out, and you can kind of see I'm actually putting it back together. And then we decided, well, if you put all that old chrome back on it and all, because here's a good example. That's the old grill. Now, you can kind of see the old grill, and then this would be our new bright aluminum. So you see the difference here? So here's the old grill that's, all dented up, and you can kind of see how nasty it looks right here. So when you restore an old car like this, it's a domino effect because you got to buy everything brand new to match the paint job. And that's another thing that people don't realize. It had headers on it. I took it to the muffler shop and had them remove the headers off the vehicle. We decided we need to get rid of these rotted out headers. So we went ahead and got rid of those. And it cost $1,500 to put 2 intake exhaust manifolds and brand new exhaust on it. So there you go. That's your 62 Nova. Now, let me give you some backstory on this car. The girl that owns this car, this was her high school car. Her dad bought this car for her. Her and her dad basically did a mild restoration on it. They repainted the whole car yellow. And she drove this car all the way through high school and then parked it. So it's been parked for 15 or 17 years. And that, I kind of explained to them that when we get this running, we're going to have to do mechanic work and all this other stuff. It's not just going to start up and run. When you let a vehicle sit for 15 or 20 years, everything rots out on it. We now have an issue that I just noticed that it's probably going to need, the whole car is going to need rewired. Let's go ahead and turn the headlights on, and I'll kind of show you what's going on. So I'm going to reach in here, and okay, so we got the headlights on. You can kind of see it right there. But when we look at the headlights, only one headlight works. Okay, so let's go back here. And we're going to look over here because I'm trying to show you that restoring cars costs a lot of money and a lot of time. And this is an example. I don't see any taillights on. I don't see any taillights whatsoever on. And even if I open the trunk and jiggle the lights, they're not going to come on. You don't want to really touch the wires on this car because the wires are so brittle that they will crackle and break. And here's a good example of that. I just actually ordered 2 pigtails for the front turn signals because they were crackled and peeled and broke. And I don't even know if I have it sitting over here amongst all this stuff. And here's another situation when you're restoring old cars. Okay, look what we got here. We got rusted, rotted nuts and bolts. All right, here's a little screw. Okay, that's rusted. And then you get into, well, now we've got to replace all the bolts, and I got to go buy boxes of bolts and nuts, and, you know, because you can't put the old car together using this bolt here. Let's go ahead and I'll give you an example. You can't really use this bolt because then, you know, it's going to not match the brand new paint job. Does that make any sense, guys? So, you know, restoring an old car costs a lot more than what people think it costs. So, then we come over here, and this is what many of the body shop girls working on today. We're not going to go in there. We'll lose connection. But you can see all the body parts that go to the 75 Chevy truck. They're getting sanded. And hopefully I'll be painting all those tomorrow. There's the other parts are in that those boxes over there. And then, of course, we got the truck outside. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you this truck, I'm going to go ahead and tell you how much money that guy's got in this truck already. Now, he's replaced every bolt-on body part on it except the truck bed floor and the front wall. These are actually brand new bed sides. But I'm going to go ahead and give you an example how much this guy's got in his truck. I think he said that he's reached $32,000. $32,000. Now, a lot of people are going to look at me and say, oh, so you charged him $32,000. You made a lot of money on that truck, because the guy that's saying that is a dumbass. You don't know anything. No, he bought brand new fenders. He bought brand new parts. He's bought everything he's buying for this. It's all brand new stuff. He had outside work done that I didn't do to it. So all these little pennies add up to an amount that, is the truck really worth that much? Do you see what I'm saying? So then you get to the situation, and we're just going to use my truck as an example. Okay, I'll tell you how much I got in this thing. I got $2,000 in buying it, and I'm already up to like $3,500 in putting in it, about $3,500. So I got $5,500 in this truck, and it's a 2-wheel drive, 3/4 ton. It's a 454 big block. It's basically a gas hog, and I drive it around locally. I don't even know, this truck wasn't made to go 80 miles an hour on a highway, 75 miles an hour. The next thing I was actually going to do, I was going to buy a new hood for it. But should I really do that? Should I really go ahead and invest in buying a brand new hood and painting it? I don't know. I don't know. So, you know, I got that 3/4 ton truck. I love that truck. It's a nice truck. But it's an old truck. And we have been spoiled by the new trucks of today. That truck doesn't have half that leg room that my Dodge truck has. The steering wheel basically sits in your chest. And, I mean, it's kind of uncomfortable to drive until you get used to it. I'm actually used to it now. And I actually had a 77 Chevy Silverado. I drove that thing for many, many years. I had that truck longer than any other truck I ever owned. And I loved that truck. But, you know, I mean, this is my motto on restoring old cars. You can do whatever you want to it. You can spend $1 million on that old car. And when you get in that old car and drive that old car, you're still driving an old car. You're still driving old technology. You're still sitting in old technology. You're still steering the old technology. And it ain't nothing like driving a brand new vehicle. You can do motor conversions, transmission conversions. You can change all the interior out that you want. You can put in any steering wheel and steering columns, suspensions. I've done it all, people. I built 478 fiberglass kit cars. I've done everything and anything that you can do to a vehicle except make them a dragster a vehicle or a jet engine car. I have never done that. But I can tell you from experience, if you have an old car and you plan on restoring that old car and investing a lot of money in it, because that's what you're going to end up doing, be prepared that you will still be driving an old car, no matter what you do to it. Okay, so we're going to move on, and I want to show everybody this envelope. This right here in this envelope is my ballot for voting. This is it. I haven't opened it yet. I have not opened it yet. And what you're looking at here is a ticket to vote in the next leadership of America. I'm going to ask y'all a question. We know we have a president that is supposed to run our country. For the past 16 years, I can verify that our country has been run as a dictatorship and as a socialized communist country. I can tell you that. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the only way that you're going to change it is if you get on your phone and call your county office and do this right here. A lot of people are looking at this and saying, I ain't going to vote. I don't give a shit. I don't care. It isn't going to change me. It isn't going to do anything for me. All right? Politics don't do anything for me. That's what you're saying. Well, I'm going to give you a few examples of what politics do to you, the dumbass, the piece of shit, the fucking loser that says, no, I don't give a fuck. Okay? I'm going to give you some examples, and I'm going to tell you why it's very important that you do this. Now, I want you to look at this on the back. And this is where the world's going, because you, the guy that doesn't want to vote, that doesn't want to get involved, this is what happens when you want the government to control you. It says ballot drop-off areas, in-person voting locations and hours, candidates, write-ins and withdrawals, election results, deadlines, information for military. Okay, where was that at? I saw that. Okay, I don't even know. It must have been on something else. Oh, here you go. That's where it is right there. That's what I wanted to focus on. Do you see how that's outlined in red? Do you see that? Look at here. What's the one word in there that you see that is crooked and misused, that shouldn't be there? Does anybody see that one word? Can you see that one word in there? I don't think anybody knows what I'm talking about, so I'm going to tell you what I'm looking at here. Do you see that word where it says mail, M-A-I-L, ballot, mail ballot? They are forcing us to mail our ballots in now. They are forcing us where we cannot vote in person. Many called up the county office yesterday, San Juan County office, and said, where can we vote? Well, you can bring your ballot up here and we'll put it in the box. But I don't want to do a mail-in vote. And they hesitated on the phone like it was a big hassle and said, well, why don't you want a mail-in vote? That doesn't make sense. Because if you use a machine, you're just going to use the machine to vote with, and then you're going to throw it in a box anyway. So you might as well just fill your vote out and then, bring it up here, or you can mail it in. There's an envelope. Here's the envelope inside there. You can see that. You can go ahead and mail it in. Or if you really want to drive all the way up here from where you live, then we'll put it in the box for you. Mail-in voting is the worst thing that they've ever came up with. That is the worst voting they have ever came up with, is mail-in voting. I will not be mailing in my vote. I will go up there in person. Another thing that I found out, and I'm sure a lot of people out there, because everybody has TikTok now, They found out that if you go to a voting facility and you're wearing a Trump hat or a Trump t-shirt or you are promoting a politician, they will not let you vote. And I believe that goes for all you Harris lovers out there too. And now what they're doing, they're actually paying people on TikTok to say that they voted for Harris. They're doing that. That is a scam. If you see a video on TikTok of some old lady that says, I did what my heart told me because I want to help people and I love people and I voted for Kamala Harris today. And then you read the comments that says thank you and all this. Those are fake comments. It's a fake video. And it's a promotional video for the scumbag bitch, the satanic fucking leader that's trying to rule the world. It's all fake. So don't believe that when you see that. And then there was several other ones, and they were all ladies and young girls. There were some that looked like they were just turned, they were 15 or 16, but you know, they got to be 18 now to vote. But anyway, I've also noticed that they claim that Trump is taking over the country, and then you look at another one and it's Kamala, and you know, so the only way that things are going to be truthful, and 100% honest is that you got to go out there and do that. And if you don't, then this is what's going to happen to you. Okay? A lot of people are saying, that, well, it doesn't affect me. Okay? There's nothing I can do about it. Well, that's what they want you to say, and that's what they want you to do. Now, I'm going to give you some examples why you should vote and who the evil piece of shit people are that are ruining your life. Because if my friend Pete's working 7 days a week, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I own my own property outright. I own this building. I own my house. I own my property. All I do is pay taxes every year. That's it. All right? Everybody's got to pay property tax unless you're a what? A renter. 78% of America are renters. They rent. They do not own. Are you a renter? Do you rent an apartment? Do you rent a house? Are you renting a shop to work in? Are you renting a small storage unit to store all your stuff in? What are you renting? How many renters do we have out there? Tell me. I want to know. All right? I want to know how many renters we have. We're going to keep going. I'm not going to watch the screen here. There's a company out there called Blackstone. Forget BlackRock. Okay, we're not talking about it. We're talking about Blackstone now. One of the most evil companies of creation that America has let run their company. And that's another thing. Our government lets these evil, vile corporations run businesses. This is where voting is going to save our life. But it's going to take everybody, not just a little handful, okay? Blackstone owns 28% of all rental properties in America. 28%. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read a couple of these to you. Go ahead and set the camera right here. Blackstone, which is already the largest landlord. Now, listen to this. The largest landlord in the USA and the world. They are the largest fucking property owners in the world. Announced last month that it planned to get even bigger by acquiring Tricon, which owns and operates 38,000 single-family rental homes, SFR, in the USA. Blackstone already owns 280,000 SFR homes, and if the question is approved, Blackstone will be the third largest SFR owner in the United States. I thought it was first. It's third. Now, this is where Blackstone is ruining your life. And you don't even know that this corporation or, let's see, what's that other corporation? What was the name of it there? Tricon. You don't even know they own it. You don't know. For all you know, some, local Joe guy that owns 4 or 5 properties around town owns your house. You don't know. Is my camera? Okay, there we go. All right, hopefully that'll... All right, I'm sorry. I think my camera's dirty, but we can't fuck with that. I don't give a fuck. Blackstone's shoddy track record as a corporate landlord throughout the country has drawn negative media attention in the past. While other companies are raising their rent of an average of 20%, Blackstone has hiked their average rent up 34%. The CEO, the guy that created this scumbag corporation, and they're not stopping there. They're buying as much property and as much equity as they can throughout the United States. They are the largest fucking holder of land and homes and everything. Here's a good example. Let's see, Blackstone-owned landlord Invitation Homes. They own a company called Invitation Homes. They raised this person's rent by $800. She detailed what the problems were in the family home. It had water leaks, cockroaches, mold that made them sick. And the couple that lived there said that Invitation Homes failed to make any requested repairs. Basically, fuck off. We don't give a shit. If you don't like it, tough shit. You got a contract with us, and if you don't pay us, we're going to get your money anyway, and then you get the fuck out. Do you see what I'm talking about here? This all goes back to the small guy on Craigslist selling automobiles for, selling a $50 automobile for $5,000, okay? And the people that create it are these people right here. These corporations, and it trickles down to the individual. If they can do it, so can I. Fuck off. Let's see here. 5,400 Blackstone-owned rental units experienced a hike of an average of 34%. 1/5 of those units experienced average hikes of 50% or more, with some increases reaching as high as 76% increase on rent. They're not the only company. Let me tell you about this piece of shit CEO that owns this BlackRock company. He had his... I think it was his 60th birthday or 50th birthday, whatever he had. And it cost $3 million for his birthday party. $3 million. Another thing about this piece of shit is he is not afraid to flaunt how rich he is and tell everybody to fuck off. He's one of these arrogant piles of shit that is just, the biggest guy on earth. And, fuck you. It's all about me. I don't give a fuck. I'm scanning through some other stuff here to look at. Let's see here. Okay, what is the most evil companies in the world? Apollo Global Management. Hey, there's another management company that owns $250 billion worth of properties around the world that are rental properties. That's the biggest scam thing going right now is rental. This is the deal about this Blackstone. I've been doing my research, and we can't sit here and watch the video right now. But Blackstone actually was part of the people that created the big pitfall and downfall of America back in 2007. Now, they did this on purpose. They did this on purpose to break the home ownership of America, where people lost all their... Does everybody remember that? Were you one of them people that actually lost your house on foreclosure? Because if you are, call Blackstone and tell them thank you. They created it, and the reason they did that is so... Let me go over here. That sun is right in my eyes. There we go. The reason they created that, they were part of that scheme, and they used their corporation backing power of all of the assets that they own to create this pitfall of America. Of course, you know, our lovely President Obama was involved in that too, and I'm sure, you know, they put a lot of money in his pocket as well. So they create this pitfall for America so they can go in there and buy all the homes that were foreclosed at pennies on the dollar. And then once it's all over, all these people that lost their homes, they need houses to live in. Well, who do you think they're going to fucking rent them from? The corporation. The piece of shit, evil, vile son of a bitch that bought all these houses, forced all these people on the street, purchased their homes, and now he's going to rent them back to them. So if you hear the word BlackRock, forget BlackRock, okay? Think about Blackstone, because they're the ones that are more evil than BlackRock. There's another company called TGI. TGI happens to corner the market on the energy companies in America. They have cornered the market on that. I'm sorry, it's TPG Capital. These people are $1.1 trillion company. They're the largest company in the world, $1.1 trillion. The CEO that runs the place, his yearly paycheck, and this doesn't include his balloon pay and all his expenses and everything else that, you know, all the other perks that he gets, $198.2 million. That was his paycheck for 2023. What the fuck does one human being need with $200 million paycheck a year? How lavish do you have to live to have $200 million? Greedy, vile, scumbag people. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I've told you before, I'm rich. I'm a millionaire. You want me to tell you why? Because I don't fucking need money to be rich. I need God in my life. I need Jesus. I have everything I want. I don't need nothing else. I don't need 20 fucking cars. I don't need a $700 million mansion. I don't need a fucking yacht that costs $30 million. Everything I have in my 1 acre is everything I need. I'm sitting here telling you that I work. Sometimes I'm glad that I can get off my ass and work. I got good health. That's how I'm rich. I don't need money to be rich, and neither do you. But these corporations, these vile, disgusting corporations, the most evil companies on earth, they want your money, and they're getting your money. These companies don't just own property that they rent to you because you're paying them. They're getting your money, aren't they? They own the commodity goods companies that make everything that you purchase. Did you think of that? I don't think you have. Somebody's got to own that company. When you see a sign that says Keebler Cookies, that doesn't mean that Keebler's Cookies is owned by one person or 2 or 3 people. It's owned by corporations like Blackstone Group. That's who owns them. Walmart, for instance, put everybody out of business. People hoard Walmart like they're the best thing in the fucking world. Walmart is one of the most vile, evil companies, one of the biggest enemies you'll ever have in your life. They closed down every fucking 5 and dime store in America, basically. And I'm talking about Woolworths. I'm talking about Kmart. I'm talking about companies like that we used to love to go to shop at. I'm not talking about, I don't even know the names of them because I don't go there. But I'm talking about these other big companies that were around for 50, 60, 75, 80 years. Walmart put them out of business. Do you know to get a job at Walmart, you have to sign a contract, a life insurance policy? that when you die, they collect money on your death? What kind of company is that? What kind of company would make you sign in your contract, in your envelope of, your application, that you owe them money when you fucking die? We got another company called KKR. This is, of course, they call themselves equity firms. That's what they call themselves, where you invest your money with them, and they use your money to buy and sell everything. KKR Company is a private equity firm with over $100 billion in assets under management. TPG, let's go back to them. They just bought TXU Power. They leveraged the buyout of TXU in 2007 and paid $70 billion in assets for it. The firm has been involved in some controversial deals throughout the country. The deal was financed with a large amount of debt and eventually led to TXU defaulting on the debt payments, which they probably forced the debt upon them so they can buy it from them. All right? So you got to watch out for these fucking, you don't know what's going on, okay? You sit there and you say, well, it's not affecting me. These evil companies, the fucking government that you're voting for, it affects you every minute of your fucking life. Every minute of your life. The number one worst company, the most evil company worldwide is Apollo Global Management. Who are they? I don't fucking know. Let's go ahead and read them and see what they're about. Apollo Group Global Man is one of the largest private equity firms in the world with over $280 billion in assets under management. That means that they own $280 billion worth of properties and equity in companies and everything else that they are making. So if they own $250 billion, can you imagine what they're taking in off that? This often leads to the companies being unable to... Okay, here we go. The firm has a history of buying up struggling companies and then loading them up with debt. There's a company out there called 3M. Has anybody ever heard of that? That's what 3M does. 3M will go in and buy companies out, load them up with debt, force them out of business, and then, of course, they take over and they put their name on the product. One of the products that I'm going to go ahead and name out that I know for a fact this is what they did is Dynalite Bondo. I used to be able to buy Dynalite Bondo for $8 a gallon. Then it went up to 12. And when 3M bought them out, it went up to 15. And then the pandemic hit and it went up to 20. Well, Dynalite Bondo's gone. It's now called 3M. Same can, same design, same everything. But instead of saying Dynalite, it says 3M. And you know how much that Bondo is now? $50 or $60 a gallon. Fuck you. I don't buy it. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of enough of this bullshit here. Don't let Blackstone use your money to put tenants at risk. Okay, I can go ahead and read all this shit, but should I? I think you got the message. Blackstone is putting Infecture's reputation at risk because of their exposure. Blackstone's poor track landlord. Blackstone is directly contributing to the affordable housing crisis right here in Los Angeles, Southern California, by raising tenants' rent, forcing them out, blah, 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 bad behavior. So this is where it puts a needle in the haystack that you aren't ever going to be able to buy a house. And if you own a house, you better keep the motherfucker and don't sell it. A lot of people want to know what the president gets paid. Let me go ahead and tell you what the president makes here. Where was it at? The president, by the way, they claim he is not income tax free, that he has to pay taxes too. But the president actually gets, here's what the salary is for the president, for everybody that wants to know. And here's what his package is, okay? This is a lifetime package. So this is making me wonder, is ex-President Trump getting this? And then if he becomes president again, will he get that? All right? The president's salary is about $400,000. Well, it's not about, it is $400,000 a year. For some elected individuals, this means they take a pay cut when they become president. All right, they might have put that in because Trump was president and, you know, he's actually a billionaire, so he took a pay cut. The position offers benefits beyond yearly salary. Now listen to this. So besides the $400,000, the president gets a pension after leaving the office. Now they don't say how much that is, but I believe after reading this, and I'm not going to read all, I think he gets $400,000 a year for the rest of his life, because that's what his set salary is. They also have a $50,000 annual expense count. Now, wouldn't that be nice if you and me had $50,000 that we just got for free? That would be our expense count. We can do whatever the fuck we want with it. I can go take my $50,000 and go to Las Vegas and gamble it, or I can take it and buy stocks with it, or whatever I want to do, I can do. Okay, so they get a $50,000 annual. That means every year, a $100,000, listen to this shit, non-taxable travel account. Wouldn't that be nice to have $100,000 non-taxable, and I can travel around the world for the rest of my life? $100,000. I can go to Spain. I can go to the town that my family was heritage from, the Cefalù, Sicily. I can go anywhere I want. If I want to pay Elon Musk $100,000 to fly me up in the air, I can do that for free. They also get, now listen to this shit, they get a $19,000 entertainment account. They get $19,000 a year to go out and gallivant around and fuck off and just play money. So if you add all this up, we got $400,000, $500,000, $550,000, $570,000 a year. And then we're not talking for the rest of the life. They also get their salary for the rest of their life. Now, I will say one thing about Trump. Trump did not take a penny to be president. All his money was donated to charities that needed the money, okay? And I'm going to speculate that Trump, on his annual $400,000 paycheck or whatever it is, he probably donates that too. Now, we don't know for a fact, but I'm just speculating that he does. He's the only president in the history of presidential that has never taken a dime to be the president of the United States. Do presidents get paid for life? Former presidents are entitled to an annual lifelong pension. The pension amount is equal to the salary of the current cabinet secretaries, which I think is $178,000 a year. No, cabinet secretaries. How much does a cabinet secretary make? I have that up here. I think it's $250,000. But anyway, you get the message. Okay? You kind of get the message. This is the end. This is the only answer that we have. We the people. This is it. This is all, people. Right there. All it takes is a 5-minute phone call to call your county office. That's it. They'll send this to you in the mail. Fill it out. You can go in person. You can do whatever you want to do. It takes 5 minutes of your time to do this. Don't let the country overrun you, because it's already starting in California. Now, we already know that millions and millions and millions of illegals have entered our country. Millions and millions of illegal criminals and criminal activity has entered our country. The borders have brought in millions and millions and trillions of dollars of drugs into our country, turning your children into drug addicts. Millions and millions of immigrants have entered our country that are now legal to vote in California. You don't need an ID to vote in California anymore. They just passed that law last week. It's over. You don't need anything. All you need to do is be 18 years or older. That's it. If that passes in New York, because I think they're trying to do that in New York now, we are fucked, okay? We're fucked. Because what's going to happen is all of the states that are subject to housing all the immigrants and illegals that are coming in our country, they will follow suit. That's the plan. That's the democracy plan of dictatorship that they are going to force on you and me. So without you doing this and saying, well, it doesn't affect me, I don't give a fuck, all you're doing is adding to the conflict, and you're basically saying, I'm voting for Harris. That's what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying when you don't do this. I'm voting for Harris, so I'm not voting at all. Do you know Harris has done nothing for our country? Why is she even running for president? She has done nothing but evil, vile shit. If you go back into her history of life, achievements, it's all been evil, vile achievements that she's created. She put a black lady in prison for 5 years in California because the lady interfered. I think this is what I think she put the black lady in prison. No, actually there was two I saw. She put a black lady in prison in California. It was either for protesting against abortion or because she got involved in the elementary school that her kid went to and broke some type of law. But put her in 5 years because she was trying to protect her child. That's how evil this person is. I don't know the exact story. I'm kind of tongue-tied on it, but I'm telling you that she is an evil person. The only way we're going to fix the problem is that. If you don't do that, make a 5-minute phone call to your county office, we might be fucked. And if she makes it to office, if they become president for 4 more years, our country is gone. It's lost. We aren't going to have a country anymore. I used to think that stockpiling up on emergency equipment and facilities and food was stupid. I used to think that. I thought that it was kind of a joke, and people that did that were kind of idiots. Well, I'm starting to think that we need to start stockpiling up on stuff. We need to start stockpiling up on solar power energy. Portable solar powers. We need to stockpile up on solar-powered lights. We need to possibly stockpile up on freeze-dried food. Because in a couple weeks from now, we might be seeing a civil war. And some of the companies that I mentioned, and I'm going to tell you one right now, and these are all Democratic companies. These are all run by the Democrats. They support the Democrats. But this company right here, TPG, is the leading global alternative asset manager. Okay, we went through that. They own 97% of all energy facilities in America. All they got to do is flip the switch, and you ain't got no power. You don't have electricity, you're fucked. You don't have electricity, you don't have heat. You don't have electricity, you don't have hot water. You don't have electricity, you ain't charging up your phone. If you don't have electricity, most people can't cook. We're going to be going back to the caveman days. You better fucking think about all that while you're thinking about what my friend Pete's saying and you're laughing at me, okay? You better think about it. Because you watching this, thinking that I'm a joke, I guarantee you, if electricity got turned off, you wouldn't know how to survive. You'd be living out in the fucking woods. You'd probably commit suicide. And there's going to be a lot of that action going on, probably. I think I've said enough today. I've been doing these live videos to promote our country, to promote God. Anybody that, and everybody already knows what Kamala did, basically said that she doesn't believe in Jesus Christ, that she's a satanic worshiper. That's basically what she has done. If God is not in your life is going to be hell. Because if you don't believe in God, there's only one alternative. Hell. The devil. Anybody that votes or thinks about voting for Kamala Harris is a devil worshiper. Is a hater of America. Is a lover of the corporations. The corporations right now are running our country, people. I just proved that to you. They're taking your money. When you go to the paint store and buy paint, and it might be a PPG product or a 3M product, you're supporting them. We don't have no way out of supporting them because we have got to buy the goods we need to survive. And these large fucking corporations, these investment firms, own everything. Everything. So by you walking out your front door and going and buying your groceries, you are supporting them. They are taking your money. Doesn't that make sense to you? Everybody keeps saying BlackRock this, BlackRock. Yeah, they are evil. Larry Fink and Susan, what's her name? Susan Wagner. Piece of shit scumbags. Blackstone are the most evil fucking company in America. Remember this. They got $1.1 trillion. You and me are lucky to have $1.1 because of them. How many people out there that don't own a house wish they owned a house? Well, good luck. You ain't going to be able to afford one. You probably never will. So always remember one word, Blackstone. When you go to bed at night, when you take a shit and flush your toilet, when you turn your light switch on, think of TPG. That's the word that should come up. You're paying them for that electricity. Does that feel good? Does that feel good that these CEOs are getting $198 million paychecks every year and they're on their birthday, they're spending $3 million for a birthday party? While you and me can't even spend $3 fucking for a gallon of milk? Call your county office. It takes 5 minutes to register. You'll get this in the mail within 3 days. That's all it takes. Right there. That's it. And one more thing. That guy right there. That guy right there. There's a lot of depressed people out there. There's a lot of people out there that don't know where to turn, don't know what kind of life they're going to lead. They're lost. They probably are out of work. They can't find a job. They're trying to get on the internet thinking, how can I make money? I want to, maybe I should start making YouTube videos. If you can forget the fucking YouTube shit, that's over. If you're planning on opening a YouTube channel now, or a TikTok channel or anything else, that shit's over with. All right? There ain't no money in it. Trust me. If you think I'm sitting here making money on this, you're crazy. Most of these live videos that I make don't even get AdSense. I don't get the money. All right? They don't even let me get the money on the live videos that I do. I'm doing this for your benefit, people. I'm doing this to tell you we have got to change what the fuck is going on, not just in America, around the world. Around the world. Dictatorship is going to control us. Do you want your children and your grandchildren to grow up, not knowing what it was to be free? Jesus Christ is the answer, people. If you're depressed, if you don't have what you want in your life, start praying to God. All it takes is one prayer a day. And I guarantee you, your heart will start being fulfilled with what you need in life. I got a lot of stuff in my office. It's knick-knack stuff. It's memorabilia, okay? It's a material item. If I lost all this stuff in a fire, I would be upset. But in reality, I really wouldn't care because I have Jesus in my life. And if I'm to have that stuff back in my life, I'll get that stuff back in my life. But if I don't, then God told me what you have is what you have. And you need to learn how to live with it. Suicide is a bad thing. My thoughts about suicide, if you kill yourself, that's the devil doing that, and you will go to hell. Believe me. Suicide is not in the agenda with Jesus Christ. This is Pete, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. I'm going to go ahead and let you go now. We've talked about a lot of action. I'm trying to sway your opinions. I'm trying to teach you these people out here exist. Bain Capital, Apollo Asset, Toma Bravo, Warburg Pincus, Advent International, Apex Partners, Francisco Partners, Cartile Group, KKR. I can go on and on, people. LGP, Leonard Green, Primera, okay, Vanguard, Brookfield, Oak Tree. Oh, I've heard of Oak Tree Capital, okay, management. American Global Assistant Management Firm, specializing in alternative investment strategies. That's the new word now. Alternative investment strategies. That's the firm. They don't use corporations anymore. Management firms, Asset Global. They use these words, all right? $193 billion of clientele. That means they own $193 billion of stuff that you're fucking buying. If you want China to come over here and run our country for us, don't do this. Okay, don't do that. All right? There was something that I bought the other day. I made a video about it. I know what it was. It was a speed nut. There used to be a company in America. It's called Fisher Body Company. They made all the fasteners and all the stuff that goes into a General Motors car. Just the fasteners and the nuts and the bolts and just everything and anything to put the car together was Fisher, the Fisher Company, manufacturing company. I was actually in one of their warehouses in Detroit, Michigan. It was a torn down warehouse. It was an abandoned warehouse. It was the Fisher, one of the Fisher companies. Made in America. The speed nuts were made in America at that factory. The clips that hold that molding on were made at that factory in America. It worked. We paid $280 for the chrome on the back of the Nova. It was 3 pieces. The 2 corner pieces and the center piece. Supposed to come with the clips and all the hardware. I put the shit on. I made a video about this fucking crap. I put the shit on. And I'm starting to put the one piece of trim on. I'm using my nut driver with the speed nut. And I'm pushing as hard as I can. And the motherfucker got sideways on me and got stuck on there. I fucked with it for 2 hours. I couldn't get this fucking thing off. Well, it turned out that the speed nuts, they're made out of cheap, inexpensive, fucking, I wouldn't even call it metal. I don't know what the fuck. I'd call it tin foil. I guarantee you that shit was made in China or in Taiwan. If you want to continue to buy this trash, this junk, and let China run our country, because that's what they're doing. China is now running America. Where everything that we buy, 90% of everything we buy besides food, is from China. Don't do this. Don't do it if you like the way you're living. Here's another scam, and then I got to go. I got work to do. We've been online for an hour. Here's another scam I want to tell you. Amazon is one of the biggest rip-off fucking places that you'll ever buy stuff. Everybody loves Amazon. I'm going to buy my stuff on Amazon. I'm going to say 80% of everything that you get on Amazon is a fake. And here's a good example. Minnie has a cat. She buys Shiba brand cat food. When we go to the store to buy it, I think it's up to like $28 or $30 now for a box of this shit. She decided, well, I'm going to get it on Amazon. I can get it for $20 if I join the club, and they send it to me, once a month. Now that's the big thing now on Amazon. Don't just buy one, join the club, and we'll just automatically send it to you and take money out. Okay, so she gets the cat food, and all of a sudden she opens it up and pours it out, and it's like soup. There's more liquid in it than there is food. She pours it, I'm serious, she poured it out like that, bam, just like that, bam. That's how fast she poured it out. Normally, when you open this food, the ones you buy at Walmart or in person, you open them up and you got to shake them out like this or get a little spoon and scoop the food out of them. I guarantee you, and this is what China is doing because they don't have no laws in America, let them do this. I guarantee you that they are manufacturing this food over there in China or Taiwan or some fucking sweatshop fucking place, okay, factory, sweatshop factory, and they have machines that are printing everything out exactly like the Shiba food, everything down to the last identical fucking detail. They're shipping it back over here from China or whatever country China is running, Taiwan, and then selling it on Amazon. Here's a big scam that they came up with. Do you see these guitar strings? Now, I bought these ones in person. If you buy this guitar string set on Amazon or online, you better be careful who the fuck you're buying it from. They've already proven that China has taken the Ernie Ball guitar string design. They are manufacturing guitar strings. They are printing labels and everything identically, exactly. Everything made in the USA, manufactured, blah, 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 the whole US patent and everything, and selling those online. It's already been a proven fact that they're doing that. Stay away from Amazon. Don't buy anything from them. 99.9% of it is junk anyway. And if you buy something from Amazon, make sure that you are under the understanding that it probably isn't going to be exactly what you think it is in the picture. Now, I'm not saying everything on there is bad. There's a lot of good deals on there, but you really got to watch out what's going on. So if you want these foreign countries to run America, if you want to see Russia and China flying airplanes, bombers and fighter jets over America, don't do the thing that you should be doing, this right here. Don't do it. Sit on your ass and keep telling yourself it doesn't affect me. 5 minutes on the phone. Call your county office, register. They'll send you the ballot in the mail. That's all it takes. This is Pete. I got to go. I want to thank everybody that joined me. This has been a long, boring situation, but for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be making a couple live videos a week. I got to wake people up. I got to let them know what's going on in the world. China's going to take over America. That's right, Opal X. Are you going to let them do that? Are you going to vote, or are you going to sit on your ass and leave a comment on YouTube? Red Dawn, maybe. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining in. I got to get to work, and I'm just trying to be informative and let you know that America sucks, people. We're not going back. Forget that fucking term. Nobody's going back. But we do got to take back America. We're not going back in time, but we are going to make America great again. So if you see a sign that says, we're not going back, that's probably a devil worshiper wearing that t-shirt. And if I see the motherfucker wearing it, I will tell them to fuck off to their face. But if I'm with many, I won't be doing that. But if I'm by myself and I see you wearing a Harris t-shirt that says we're not going back, I'm going to tell you, fuck you, bitch. Fuck off. Ain't nobody going back, motherfucker.